Discussing every twist, don't leave a doubt. Predictions, insights, we break it all down into somewhere best critics around. Into somewhere we reviewing every bout, breaking down the moves, ain't no shadow of doubt. WWE heat, we bring that white hot flame. From prayer to gunner, we calling names. Yeah.
Turnbuckle tension, the ropes might snap. Jake calling spots, Cody's laying the map. Spaz with the bent, or a joke, then a clue. Breaking it down for the hardcore crew. Into somewhere wrestling minds collide. Breaking down the chaos, the truth won't hide. Briefcase in the air, who's taking the gold? We're diving deep, stories unfold. RKO hits like a freight train crash. Lights out cold in the WWE backlash. Cats on fire, gonna brought down low. Fighting flames on this endless show. Somewhere Jake and Spaz ride, taking you on an NXT pride. Cincinnati's roar can't hide. Wrestling dreams all collide. The scoop on the belts and the rivalries brewing. Tag teams exploding, legends renewing. From indie vibes to the big stage proving. Every rumor nailed down, no chance of misconstruing. Catchphrases dropping like a pile driver move. Jake switch sharp, Cody's got the groove. They keep it real raw, never out of the loop. Step into somewhere, the wrestling troupe. Jake calls a shot, Spaz breaks the game. Cody's in the fray, adding to the flame. Ladders they rise, fists hit the air. Chaos erupts without a care. Triple A's warriors, NXT's pride. Only one walks with glory inside. Into somewhere we scream and shout. Breaking it down, no shadow. Into somewhere where we breaking it down. CM Punk, John Cena tearing up the town. Broke half on fire, no one spit it better. Reef wing like a beast, no one does it clever. Cena through elbows, Punk through shade. Chains clang, bodies bang, rivalry displayed. Slanted to the chains like lions in the cage. Toronto crowd wild, unleash all the rage. In the summer, in the summer. The Garden's buzzing, New York feel electric. Punk's fist cracking, Seth's got a death wish, hectic. Cody says, man, Punk looking hungry tonight. Jake nods, but Seth flips, guts all in a fight. Roman stomps through, Rex plans in his strut. Tribal chief with bad vibes tearing it up. MSG crowd, stunned faces in the stand. Cody shakes his head, this again, damn man. Y'all believe in Joe Hendry's name. Fighting through the fire in the wrestling game. Hearty soar like the legends they define. Knockouts fight, her power aligns. Mic drop, we analyze every bout. Discussing every twist, don't leave a doubt. Predictions, insights, we break it all down into somewhere best critics around. Into somewhere we reviewing every bout, breaking down the moves, ain't no shadow of doubt. WWE heat, we bring that white hot flame. From prayer to gunner, we calling names. Yeah. Turnbuckle tension, the ropes might snap. Jake calling spots, Cody's laying the scoop on the belts and the rivalries brewing. Tag teams exploding, legends renewing. From indie vibes to the big stage proving. Every rumor nailed down, no chance of misconstruing. Catchphrases dropping like a pile driver move. Jake switch sharp, Cody Wrestling Troop. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah. What's going on, ladies and gents? Jake, aka Countdown Ended, coming to you live once again for the NXT and Raw Super Review. Unfortunately, I was not with you folks yesterday, but I'm here with you today. And it's Tuesday, July 22nd, 2025. This is your NXT Review and Raw Review Super Show. As you know, we're here not alone. I've got the man, the myth, the legend, the one all the ladies scream his name. In pain? I don't know. It's Cody on 8316. What's going on, broski?
Anyway, they scream my name in what?
In vain? In pain? In
vain?
In Maine?
Vain.
Hell yeah. I don't know. I'm not a white rapper from Chicago. B-Rabbit.
CM Punk is, apparently.
He's cutting a mic drop. That boy is trying to spit some fire with Gunther, and I don't know if it quite hit where it needed to be. The SummerSlam card, however, is shaping up to be pretty exquisite. And that's, again, with our concerning trend that is the 2-week-ish build that they're just going to stay with. This is pretty much it. I think we're just going to have to learn to adapt. This is going to be how TKO does it from now on. Because you figure they have, their 12 regular shows, then the at least minimum 4, sometimes more network specials, all of the NXT shows. You're looking at near 30 shows a year at this point, if not more. So there constantly is always going to be the next show. And I don't think they're going to have any lengthy build until Mania season again. I think, from Chamber to Mania is going to be the longest we get for anything. But it was cool to see. It was nice to see Roman on the mic.
That's when they take their breaks, usually, though.
Usually, yeah, you would think so. We'll see what happens. I mean, Liv Morgan kind of posted a cryptic update, but you mentioned how, there's a lot of rumor going around about her. She said getting better, but also becoming worse. You wouldn't get it. She shared that to her Instagram story. I don't know if she means physically she's getting worse, but her mental health is getting worse because you're away from the product. You're missing it. You're missing. You should have been there. You were on such a meteoric rise. Now you miss Evolution the whole summer, and over an injury you couldn't really help. So I kind of take it as that. That's my perception of it. I could be way off, but usually when you have someone that dedicated and you take whatever their love is, their affinity away from them, they don't feel whole. And she was loving her character at this point in time and how over she was and wanted to continue with all these great stories. So I imagine the hiatus is hurting her mentally, but physically it sounds good that she's improving. So that's part of the rumor you were mentioning, actually.
Because people are saying that she might return at SummerSlam in a non-physical role to help Dominic win.
She might. You never know
what do you think about that?
Planned. Non-physical.
What's the percentage you give?
See what really.
But because people are saying
there.
Dominic did it, Rhea did it, Punk did it. How many of them had surgery though after?
Quite a few. Quite a few. I'm not quite sure. I'm going back here. This is not white bouncing, but that's okay. It wants to make me extra ghosty today. We'll deal with it. Giggity. So, granted, I don't know. I don't think she's gonna be there. It's really soon for her to compete. That soon is if she's not doing anything physical, so she comes out and she's like a distraction, and maybe in that regard she does something. I don't know. I don't see it working out that way. I genuinely feel like we're just not going to see her
Still
till
too soon?
till Survivor
Because
Series.
she just got it surgically repaired a few weeks ago, right?
Yeah, just recently. So she's only been injured a short
So
period of time, regardless, and no real updates. It is interesting, looking back and seeing what they've had, but pretty much
because
everybody just says
people's
it's not great. So
idea is like August 3rd of 2024, she that's when the Live Dom thing started. So it would be like poetic for her to return August 3rd, 2025
yeah,
to help
exactly.
Dominic,
No
like
doubt
the way
about it.
Dom helped her a year before. So I get people's thing on that. So it's gonna be this reverse. Liv's there to help him this time, but like I'm mixed on it. Like I could maybe see a non-physical role, but again, she just had surgery. I don't know how long after surgery it takes for somebody to get back, but
Yeah, I mean, it all depends, really, and that's kind of the issue with it. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what comes of it, and what happens to poor Liv. I'm wishing her the best, and hopefully she's able to go ahead and manage, this situation. She gets herself healed
and worst
properly and
time
comes
because I
back as
feel
soon as
bad for
possible.
like Evolution and SummerSlam in her hometown. Like the
Yeah,
two things she was looking forward to most this year. She's been talking about it all year,
that's
basically.
why I feel like that tweet definitely stands about her mental health. I mean, it's got to be in that
Because
regard. It seems to be the
she had to
issue.
miss the all women's pay per view and potentially SummerSlam in her hometown.
Yeah.
Because that's like if you see clips, that's all she's been talking about.
Oh, I'm sure, and that's devastating as ever. So unfortunate for her. We wish her the best, and hopefully she's on the mend and heals soon. That's what we're hoping for. We want to go ahead and see her make her triumphant return. So we'll see what happens with SummerSlam. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Thank you all for hitting the like button. What's going on to Around the Ballpark podcast, friends of the show, as well as Liz in the chat. Let us know, what was your favorite moment, segment, match from NXT tonight? And we appreciate you guys hanging out and subscribing, hitting the like button as always. Yeah, Elena Black also.
Let's go Mets, by the way.
Let's go Mets for you. No cursing anymore. Elena Black is also stepping away from wrestling. So it's not super shocking. I heard this and I wasn't like, granted, but I get it. She said that she had a 10-minute video she was going to, explaining where her head's at, but it seems unnecessary. She said she's going to keep it short, but she's taking a break for at least the rest of the year. Her last match was on July 13th, where she teamed with Brooke Havoc against the Inspiration, so Cassie Lee and Jessica McKay in Portland, Oregon. And if that was the video I saw, there was a bunch of young girls there. Like, it's cool for them to see one of their idols. But holy shit, like barely anybody there. So you feel the difference. Like if NXT already drew a small house and she was used to that, this really was like somebody's backyard at a birthday party kind of feel. So she's apparently making more money in the first week of her OnlyFans being released compared to everything else she's done in wrestling.
Like that shows maybe money doesn't buy happiness, though. It's like her mental health is.
I don't know, Elena. I don't think it's her. I don't think she's stopping wrestling because of her mental health per se. I think there was, I think there was something to it, but it's not how we're straight perceiving it. I think what it is that, hey, why am I going to be paid $1,000, have to fly, travel, put the gear on, risk injury in front of maybe 100 people for whatever this independent promotion is, or I can take some pictures, put it on my OF, and make millions and millions. Sign
I
me
guess,
up,
but I want
to. I'm down for that.
I don't
one.
think she's lying about her mental health, though.
I don't think she's lying. I think her going from the stardom of NXT to back to the indies really took a toll on her. And how could it not? You were at the pinnacle. You thought you were going to be drafted. She thought she was going to be part of Evolution 2. She had all these plans, and then she was blindsided.
Like, everyone was shocked about her because, like, we thought she was like the next one of the next big woman stars.
I thought so. I thought that she was going to be the next NXT Women's Champ. I thought that's where they were going with it for a little bit. And then they had this stop, start. She was going to go after Lyra for the IC belt. Then they stopped it again. And then she was let go. So
I feel bad for
always
her. Like,
unfortunate.
I think like there's something with WWE that she loves. It's not just wrestling; it's wrestling with WWE.
Yeah,
That's her
exactly.
passion.
Yeah, I can't blame her. You know, honestly, if I was playing for the Yankees or the Mets, and then I had to go and play for the Rockettes, like it's not an insult to the Rockettes. It's just you feel that hit to your pride, your sanity, all of it. It's got to make you feel far less than. So the green screen's popping out, but I can't say I blame her. If I was a girl and I was hot, we've got a short on the channel that says it. I would have been a total. I would have been. I would have went all out. You know, would have plumped these lips for days, baby, because I would have been spreading them cheeks. The money is.
You can
is
still do that
legit.
now.
I am. I mean, you are my still top, subscriber, so got to be careful.
Well,
but,
yeah. Well, why'd you tell everyone?
Well, I mean, it's on my profile. It says Cody's my top G.
Yeah.
You are my daddy.
You
Luckily,
put that
we're
on
not
there?
I did, but luckily we're not in business hours, so I'm not going to call you any of my other little pet nicknames. One thing we do got to share is that we're at
Wait,
9,000.
now you're telling them that you have pet nicknames for me. That was supposed to be our business.
All you got to do is read the journal updates. Don't worry about it. It's fine. They enjoy. They got to
They
pay.
can't hear us anyway, right?
No, not yet. So, and what are we doing here? That's right. Following Ludwig, we're up in those numbers because we're 3 away from 9,100 subs. Hoping to hit 10K for SummerSlam. Let's see if we can make that dream a reality, folks. Thank you as always for being here. Yeah, Raw. It wasn't a bad Raw last night. They had it in Texas at the Toyota Center. Good start. CM Punk.
Crowd was
Gunther. Yeah,
mild.
the crowd was good. The crowd wasn't as great as we've been spoiled. They did respond to key moments, but they weren't as intense or hot like other crowds have been for everything.
I don't want to get all over the place, but they're funny with Dominic. I don't know if they're booing him now out of respect because, like, during like matches and stuff, it's dirty Dom. But when he's cutting promos, he's getting booed.
Yeah, I think it's just for the fun of the interaction. Like
By the
again,
same crowd.
I think the crowd was really good when they should have been. They were just a little quiet at the in-betweens, but that's WWE's fault because now they're pushing the LWO and maybe they shouldn't let Braun Breaker get near the mic for a little bit, or maybe he needs to speak more.
Yeah, I think Paul Heyman is a useful tool for him, right? Because
at least for a little bit. That I love how WWE.com and their YouTube edited his promo down to the very last line. So all you heard him say was like, "It's my yard," kind of get out thing. That was it. They cut everything else that he said out of it. They played Roman's entire segment, and then you just see Braun Breaker grab the mic, and he's like, "And get out of my yard!" Like it skips. Oops. Yeah, that was an embarrassingly bad promo. Tonight they recovered, I think, well. They had a fun interaction between Undertaker and Trick. I was surprised at how they had that, play out. The American Badass always getting a great reaction. He's big with the LFG side of things. So, that poor dead man, he was out there. They took my bike. Where the hell was his motorcycle? I know it's a small ramp, but maybe he could have just pulled it out and drove out. I don't know. I figured it would have worked for him. They could have just parked it on the stage. Him coming out there delayed with no motorcycle. You hear the gong, and then everyone's like, yeah, I would have rather have him just appeared in the ring. That's what I thought they were going for because they had a really tight shot of Trick. And I'm like, oh, he's going to appear behind him. He's getting him in the ring.
I didn't watch it. So, they did a bike entrance with him, you're saying?
No, they should have. They hit the gong. We had Taker's lights go out. And then the badass theme played. I am American. Oh, sorry. I get carried away.
What theme song do you like more? Isn't there two American Badass?
I still like that version, the Kid Rock one, over any of them.
Walk.
Yeah, I was never crazy about that iteration.
Who's on it now? No,
Yeah,
not
exactly.
that one.
That one's a little too bluesy for me. It didn't really fit. It was good for heel biker taker, but the American Badass theme is a little more iconic. Iconic.
Okay, that's fair.
So
Okay.
yeah, they didn't entirely shit the bed with the segment either. With Trick, he comes out, he cuts a really good promo. Even on Undertaker basically calls him out. Undertaker just did more of this. Listen, boy, you're not ready. Now get me my applesauce or I'm cranky. Like that was pretty much what we got. And
Why'd you like copy a lot of things you say to me? Because you said that.
I know earlier, weird, like we being bugged or listened to. God, never know. But it certainly was
don't
strange. I don't know
Especially
either.
like right on the dot. It was applesauce too. You said,
Yeah.
"Give me my," because
Give me
you had
my-
me dress up in a dress. Remember, you said if I want
What-
outside
what-
of the
oh,
basement.
Hey, Rainbow. We're still live. Rainbow.
Oh,
Sorry, I didn't hit the button quick enough. All in all, the segment was fun. It ended up where Taker chokeslam Trick. I know people are going to complain. They're going to go off the rails on this one, saying, look how they treat TNA. Once again, they beat up their champion. But I will say this. Meanwhile, TNA had the largest United States attendance in its history this week.
even TNA TNA champion getting confronted by the Undertaker is going to draw headlines to TNA.
Exactly.
The TNA champion's getting.
Them just being in a ring elevates Trick. It elevates the NXT brand with him being out there.
Everything.
It's a win-win. TNA has never had more eyes on it than they do currently, and they're proving that by being a complete sellout. I desperately want to go in October because it's in mass for Bound for Glory. The Dudleys, the Hardys, one last time. I'm thinking we might need to make a road trip.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So that was
Definitely
a fun segment.
Well,
Undertaker was pretty bland, blasé. You know, it just kind of came in, and you wanted an omelet with something in it: cheese, peppers, onions, ham. He just gave you eggs. He didn't even take the shell off. Like, he just threw it in the fucking pan and was like, there's your breakfast. Like, all right. And you just eat it because it's the Undertaker. He just walked out all slow and limpy and got in the ring and did the one-arm thing. And then he just kind of told him, you're not ready, boy. I can't find my motorcycle keys. And then he got chokeslam. So, highlights from Raw. What did you think of the opening? Besides Dominic handing AJ Styles the car keys, thinking he's a valet, I liked AJ throughout the night being
I like
in
AJ
different
Styles.
roles.
Yeah, dressing up. Me too. That
It
was funny as all.
AJ worked
Like
well.
then
Then
at the end of it,
he
like
gets blindsided.
trying to perform CPR and stuff like that. That was all good.
He got
But the
blindsided
Gunther
by
and
that
CM Punk
attack.
stuff. Like, I like the promo. I wish it went a little longer, and I also wish that CM Punk got the final word in over Gunther.
So Punk was talking about how he won the gauntlet match, and he's like, I know, Gunther, you're one of the best in the world. I can't promise a win, but I can promise you I won't quit, and I'm going to give the fans everything I have. So it was a good rah-rah, yeah, get behind Punk speech, but again, it was just very... It's soulless. It had no heart. There's no reason for these two to face off and bad blood being between them besides you're the champ and I'm going to take the belt from you, which can work, it's going to be a very excellent match. I'm looking forward to it. But it could be so much better if there was a reason why he was going after him more than just the title, you know, some type of personal issue, anything that we could build off of besides, I'm the best in the world, do you think you're the best in the world? Well, one of us has to win and prove it kind of thing. I don't know. Like I said, was not a bad
what do you think about
opening.
The last word, though? Like, I don't know if that was a good finish to a promo.
So Gunther goes ahead and he's like, you know what? I'm going to maim you. I'm going to choke you out. I'm going to drop you like a wet towel. I was like, all right. And he's like, Punk would never be best in the world, and at least you'll have the degenerate fans cheering for you for the rest of your life. And he drops the mic, and I'm like, it was kind of a weak go out line. Didn't feel like
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like,
a burn war. It wasn't a flame war. It's just your mom's fat.
So next week for the go home show, they need to go all out because Gunther can be good at promos when he wants to be, and CM Punk can.
It was
Maybe that's why they didn't want to have CM Punk go too hard, because I think CM Punk would mollywop him on the
he
microphone.
might bury him on the mic, but I don't know. Gunther's held his own for quite a while. He's done some excellent things, and the way he was coming at Punk here was good. It just wasn't, as I said, personal.
Dropping like a wet towel was like
that was like a standout line, and it was just because it was ridiculous. It was boring and bland, kind of, from both men, because of it lacked that personality infused into it. It's just, you are the champion, I am the good guy, you are the bad guy. Very prototypical.
Last night's Raw was kind of one of their weaker shows in a while, and you know what? I noticed something when they try to advertise it as the biggest show, big show tonight. Like, it ends up being a dud.
Yeah, they tried to.
That's happened every time, because they promoted this Raw like trying to stack it. Every Raw they try to do that ends up being one of their worst shows of the year.
No, and I totally agree with Around the Ballpark. He makes a great point here too by saying that we need something more than promos. Spice it up, let them both partner for a tag match and get physical. Not get physical, but tease it. Exactly. When you have more than 2 weeks to build, typically
they've
we would
done
get
stuff like make use each other's opponents or something.
Yeah, well, that's yes, we would get it. We would get kind of like a 4-part series. It would be 1, the call out; 2, the face to face; 3, they either have to team up or face someone as a proxy; and then 4,
and they get to choose
somebody
each other's.
gets the beat down face to face. Someone gets attacked, and then we go to the pay-per-view. It's always like that 4-week, 4-part segment. And it's worked for years because each stage made you more interested in the match. I'm interested in the match. I don't know that there's anything they can do right now to make me more interested in it, and I think that's really the problem. It's just a dream match. The scenario of how it's happening sucks.
So what would you do next week?
It's like, oh, you won a gauntlet and Seth is injured, so you get the title now, Punk. Like, it just felt very like, throw it to the next guy. I'm not so sure. I think we would have had to go back a little bit. Like, had you known Seth was injured at Saturday night's main event, like they had planned out, they had already set up.
Was it not supposed to be Gunther and Punk, or was Gunther?
I think it was, but
with Roman.
From what I heard, originally it was supposed to be 3-on-3 for SummerSlam.
Punk, Roman, and Jay.
Yeah, versus the new, the Bronze and Seth. And that was supposed to be one of the nights, and maybe we got another title match the second night. But I get why they would see that main eventing. Now, Roman put out a tweet saying, hey, let's do this, Jay. It's up to you. So he was eating after Raw. They're going to be teaming up.
Because last week, you could see, like, Roman only cared about Jay, and he didn't give a shit about Punk.
Yeah. Wouldn't help him up, wouldn't pick him up.
To see if Jay was okay. That's all.
Well, he stuck to family. We had
last
Sheamus...
night, speaking about Roman,
I
don't know what universe we're living in, but Roman was yeeting.
Yeah, I was mentioning after Raw, he was eating and celebrating, so that was kind of a cool video to see on the fan cam side. They even took people's videos
Roman said it was AI.
Of fan cams versions of him doing the yeet. Like, I thought they couldn't take down fan cams. I don't know. Twitter's a magical place.
But
the Undertaker is in charge of
Roman
that.
responded to it saying it's AI.
Give me that link, boy.
That's what he said to you.
Yeah, probably. Sheamus and Rusev, match 2 of 7. This is going to go on forever, but I'm okay with it. The first match was meaty men slapping meat. That was more of it here. You got Sheamus yelling, "Are you not entertained?"
What match was better?
I think their first match had a little bit more to it, but I preferred this match.
Really?
The first match had a bit more of that badassness. I like this one a bit better though, because it's more about the story. The first match was about them beating the hell out of each other. This match was more about, rather just a hoss fight, it was about like a battle of wits as well.
I think they get a match at SummerSlam. I think they'll be added to SummerSlam now.
I think so, possibly. I mean, there's 2 nights. They've got a card to fill. They could say you both won one. We got the rubber match, and now there's a stipulation. I wouldn't
Make them
complain
do
to see
like
that.
I don't know what kind of match.
We got
Street
more.
Fight is already night 2 main event, so
Yeah, we'll see what comes of it. And then
I
we
don't
got El Grande Americano being interviewed, and it kind of gets broken up with Dragon Lee. More of that silliness. I'm kind of just waiting for
nothing
Chad Gable to
suspicious
come
about
back.
Grande Americano. Like he
Nothing at
ate his
all.
vegetables, drank his milk, and look, he got a little taller.
A little
that's all.
taller, a little leaner, and sounds more like Ludwig Kaiser every time. Then we
I
had
mean,
this wild tag
Hey,
team
maybe he's
thing.
going through puberty again. You
He
never
might
know.
be.
Like,
I don't know how many times luchadors go through puberty. I'm imagining more than once. So, yeah, chat seemed to
gotta look
like
at
last
science
night's
of
match
that.
more. So they're siding with me. They like match number 2 better. I agree. The second match, I think, was better. The first one ended up being really good, but I think it was very slow for the first 10 minutes. And then the second 10-minute portion was excellent, but it took a while to get there. Then they really started stopping the rest holds and the accolades. You know, they really started knocking heads, and everyone was like, "Oh my God, this is great," which it was. But it took a while to get there. I think this match had it from the start. The multi-man tag team triple threat was kind of wild in its own way, because no matter who won, I was not really gonna give a damn, and that's an unfortunate state, because we have heel champs in the Judgment Day. You know, they're supposed to be the holding the title strong. I look at them more as faces than the people wrestling, you know, that won the title, with the LWO winning the #1 contendership. So you've got the New Day, Kofi and Xavier. You've got the Creed brothers, so Julius and Brutus, and then you've got Joaquin Wilde and Cruz del Toro. Dragon Lee's out there. Eventually, El Grande comes out, and they have their own little thing with him and Dragon Lee. And eventually, at the end, Joaquin Wilde, he dumped one of the Creed brothers out, and then he rolled up Kofi and got the 3 count. So it was just a roll up. It was about 10 minutes. There really wasn't much to this match, and it's like, yay, the LWO gets to have a match. That's still a thing. It's not that they're not a good team. It's just, it's the Jinder Mahal effect, where it's like, we've been seeing these guys be jobbers forever, and now in a week's time, they're #1 contenders, and next thing you know, they'll be champ. Like, it's just very jarring. We didn't have anything that, endured us to them. You know, there's no way to ingratiate them to fans. It's like, why should we be excited? They've been on SmackDown forever, not Raw. Everything over there was basically a backstage argument that never amounted to anything. The most they were ever used was when they had Backlash in Puerto Rico.
Oh, who are we talking about again?
The LWO.
Oh, yeah, them. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
See, you forgot already because you can't remember because they're
Who
so
are they?
damn forgettable. Exactly. I agree.
Yeah, see?
And that's the problem with the LWO, is that they're not presented in such a way, and it shows how desperate Raw needs tag teams. And that's why you had the
Speaking
New
about
Day.
tag teams.
Well, think about it, though. The New Day, Judgment Day, and I remember there was it might have been the War Raiders, but maybe not. But a lot of teams had those belts for like 100+ day reigns without defending them. I know Judgment Day had it a very long time without defending them, and that's because there just really aren't tag teams on Raw. And then when there are, they don't use them.
This is one tag team, like they do wonders with, like, talking about their all tag division. A-Town Down Under, right?
Yeah. So what the?
Explain to me what the fuck's going on with that.
What the?
They broke up?
This is the payoff to a 2-year+ story. Just you're backstage, the New Day loses, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, that's it. So Grayson Waller walks in and he's like, oh, Theory's dead weight. And if you're looking for an ace, I'm a free agent. And they look confused and
Where's Austin
bewildered.
Theory?
I guess he's injured. Right? So that's how they end this. Then Grayson Waller put something up on Twitter that was basically like, oh, we're done. And that's so much speculation, so much time put into.
Is he released, or I don't want
that.
to make sure
No, I know he's injured, but he's just. I know he was injured
Wow.
last we saw, and that was about it. But people are genuinely upset. So Austin Theory gets a new name after split from Grayson Waller. That was the last thing that I
Oh, he gets the
saw.
new name?
Apparently. Let's see. He said A-Town down and out, and Grayson Waller is saying, imagine where he'd be without Grayson Waller. We should be celebrating the fact that the Big G, Grayson Waller, saved Austin Theory's career. Remember 2 years ago when John Cena buried him alive on Monday Night Raw? I remember. I watch it all the time. It's one of my
I did
favorite
not
Raw
follow that.
moments. So, I don't know. It just feels like a very extremely lackluster thing. It was like, what's in the
How
box?
is Austin Theory going to return as a babyface?
I guess. So TalkSport is calling it a mockery of fans. And I don't think they're wrong here because we've been waiting 2 years for them to do something with this. 2 years of a build of these guys essentially kind of feuding, where like Austin Theory is presented as the face and people are cheering him and want him to, break away. And then we get nothing. And they tease it and then we get nothing. And then they were, tag team champions. We thought, oh, no, that didn't last. Like it just was one thing after another. They seemed primed for that spot. And then it was like, all right, you're going to be the villain. You're going to be the breakout star. And we're going to nothing. And then they made us wait another like 6 months. He said A-Town Down Under is finally done. Minus 240 pounds of dead weight off my back. He said he went and got himself injured. And he said, I know tonight must have been hard finding out he's A-Town down and out injured. I just wanted to remind you, this isn't a time of commiseration. No, this is a time of celebration. So they're done.
That makes no sense, but
You see fans and even people like on Busted Open Radio being like, are you kidding me? That's how you end this? Brian Alvarez, wish I could play it, even cut one hell of a promo complaining about it, because it's like, out of the full 2 years of this, you couldn't go ahead and give us anything better. That's how you end this. They don't
that's
even
like
have a
Vince
match.
McMahon way of ending
Yeah,
things.
it really felt again like the Fiend being screwed all over again, something along those lines. Becky and Lyra was okay. I liked Lyra a bit more here with this, and she eventually put her down with her own version of the manhandle slam. And that's when Bayley came out all confusingly, and it was, Bayley and Lyra for the women's tag titles. And AJ shows up as the medic. He starts to do chest compressions on Dom. Most of this match was decent, but basically Becky shows up, she takes Lyra out and throws her into the steps, and that's when Bayley pins Roxanne and they start trading roll-ups. And then all of a sudden Bayley doesn't see that Roxanne is tagging in Raquel Rodriguez. Bayley hits the Bayley to belly suplex on Rox, but she's not the legal woman. Raquel grabs her and Rodriguez puts her down with the Tiana bomb, gets a 3 count. So it wasn't Lyra's fault. Becky was the dumbass that missed the tag, or excuse me, Bayley. So Bayley's the idiot here, I have to say. We'll see how she
Again,
comes
another
about,
thing that made no
but-
sense of them just teaming up.
And she was acting like everything's fine. So now does she turn heel and cost Lyra the title? Or because Lyra can never challenge against Becky again, that stipulation was added. It's very confusing where they went here.
I don't
I'll
get
wait to
anything
see what
anymore.
happens. But Sami Zayn, Karrion Kross, this was great. Kross getting hit hard and bleeding somewhat early on was a nice little addition to the match, unfortunately for him.
Cross has been
Scarlett is such a fucking professional, though, that once he had the blood smeared on his face and he kisses Scarlett, goes in and kisses his wife, and she feels the blood on her lip, instead of reacting like, "Ew, get it off me," she immediately starts making like, vampire faces, and she starts licking the blood, and like she just goes with it instantly. She's so fucking good. Like that instant improv was fantastic. It really added to both of
again,
them. Looked
I
like a
thought that's
bloody
what me
mess.
and you
I
did.
mean, a little bit of bloody improv, no doubt.
Well, had the blood come about, though. You know.
Blood orgy.
Yeah.
We'll get that settled for another time. Liz is right. They really should only have one set of tag
Blood
belts.
orgy. Yeah, it's fucking ridiculous.
I mean,
Blood orgy.
blood
Oh,
orgy. Everybody knows, Woodland Critter Christmas.
Ugh.
Blood orgy. Then they teased Io and Stephanie. I think, bless you. I don't know. You might have died.
I did.
All right. That's one soul away. God damn it. You've only got a few lives left. I got to keep count of those.
See,
I'm telling
now
you.
you have to worry about me because I have to bounce real quick. And
Oh, Jesus. Now I really got to worry. Well, Cody, we will talk to you shortly, and we'll also see you tomorrow night for Into Somewhere Weekly, where we go ahead and break down all the news and rumors surrounding SummerSlam. It's going to
I'll
be
be
a
back
hell
in,
of a
like,
time.
half an hour tops, maybe.
All
around
right,
there.
sir. If we're still here, we'll catch you shortly, and if not, we'll catch you tomorrow. Tell these fine people where they can find you.
If I'm not back in time, you can find me over on my Twitter or X, whatever you like to call it nowadays, at Judgment Day Era. You can find me over on my YouTube, which I still need to post gaming content. Jake said he'll fire me if I don't. And
Chop to it.
you can find me over on my Instagram at Cody_Onidi_316.
That's right. Thank you so much, bud. We'll try and catch him back shortly. Thank you for being here.
Right.
What was your rating of Raw
Thanks for having
before you
me.
get out of here? What was your
Oh.
score?
6.5 out of 10.
That was close. I was guessing a 6. All right. Thank you, sir. We'll catch Cody afterwards. As always, his description box is filled with all his info, so you can check that out in the box down below.
Hell yeah.
They teased us with Io
Peace
Sky
out,
and
Coach.
Stephanie. Thank you, sexy. Make sure you're keeping it and staying sexy. The one, the only Cody. I'm glad he was here because he, always manages to remind me of simple points. And it's like we've seen Io and Stephanie before. I forgot about that. And he was reminding me earlier. I was like, oh, it's nice to see them finally face off. He's like, what do you mean finally? They already faced each other after Mania. Oh, I forgot about the After Mania match. Yep. And that ended pretty much the same way because we can't have either one of them win. So the Secret Harvest come in and they are all beating everybody down. I mean, they managed to get the holy shit chant out of this crowd. And like I said, when they had something worthwhile, this crowd was electric. They weren't hot 100% of the way through, but there was a lot of lull and down moments in this show. So when they needed to go nuts for a match like this, they were electric. And you basically saw Stephanie hit a reverse suplex, and she just plants Io on her face. And that's when the crowd is chanting, holy shit. Piper and Alba Fire come out and knocks him down. Chelsea gets in the ring and starts beating them all down. And Io Sky and Stephanie are kind of cleaning up house, but Naomi shows up with her belt and she shoves Io into Stephanie. And that's when Rhea comes out and they all just clear house. Next thing you know, everybody's out of the ring, but uh-oh, Chelsea. She got caught in the middle and she gets hit by all of their finishes. It was funny. Rhea, basically stood with Io and Stephanie at the end. The faces look strong. This was a really hot segment indeed. No, it was a hot match. These two have the crowd captivated. They were going nuts for their every move and moment. I was really excited to see who they were going to have win here. Are they going to, but Stephanie and her just again get a draw. So DQ interference. I imagine eventually we're going to see them, she'll defend the title against Stephanie, or we got Clash coming up with Naomi. We could see that happen when Io gets that belt back. I'd like to see her go ahead and be the champ again, and do it for the title. That would be beautiful. I don't want to see Naomi have the belt, but unfortunately that's what's happening. So in my mind, Io is forever my champ. Then we basically built into the main event here. We had Paul Heyman and Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed in the ring. They have Roman eventually come out as Paul Heyman said he had something to get off his chest, so he interrupts him. The crowd leads in a good asshole chant, and Paul was like, "Oh, you always be my family. I love you, my tribal chief, but you sold out." And then it was what it was. It was Braun Breaker cut a really bad promo here. He's trying to sound intimidating. You've got Roman delivering these great quips, these zingers and one-liners. You're not a wise man, you're a dumbass. And as stupid as it is, suffer and succotash, it works. OTC. the massive pop he got didn't even compare to Rhea Ripley. She got the loudest pop of the night. I agree, Liz, but god damn, still is Roman over. And eventually Roman, he's like, I didn't ruin the bloodline, this dumbass did. And basically you had Braun Breaker go on saying, we don't want you here anymore, you're yesterday's news, you're the old dog, you were relevant 5 years ago, that was your prime. He's like, I'm the big dog now, I'm the top dog now, I'm the future of WWE, I'm the man now. So what do you do? Do what you do best, Roman. Turn around and leave. And I love, like I mentioned earlier, that was the consolidated, concise, shortened version of what he said. It was like a minute and a half long, and WWE cut it down to turn around and leave. So Roman, because Breaker was being just viciously booed by the audience, Roman says, I didn't hear any of that crap you just said. He's like, I don't think your mic's working. And he's like, say it again. Then he tosses the mic, and that's when they just get the Superman punches, and Roman starts to clear house, but the numbers game beats him down. He gets set up for a tsunami, but there comes Jey Uso for the save. And eventually, after the crowd, got a treat after the Raw went off the air because Roman yeeted with Jey, and it was a good final segment. It was. It wasn't great, but it was good. They're damaged right now with Seth being injured. This messed up a great deal of plans they had. It really caused a bunch of issues, a lot of interference and hokey finishes happening now because they're like, oh, we've got to get this ready. We've got to do this. They've got to fit things in. We heard originally the plan was a 3-on-3 match, 6-man tag, and it seemed like that would have made sense. Punk, Jay, Roman against Seth and the Bronze. Now we're not getting that. The Money in the Bank is kind of held in limbo. There's just a lot of unknowns at this point in time. And unfortunately, with Raw, it was a good show, but it wasn't great. I agree with Cody. 6.5 is fair. I'm excited to see next week go-home show for SummerSlam because, of course, we'll be live next Wednesday into Somewhere Weekly with our SummerSlam prediction show. That'll be massive. And then that weekend we'll be live after night 1 and 2 concludes of SummerSlam, so make sure you're subscribed. And we're always streaming with Honor, which we'll get into tonight because we have the triple threat main event. Yoshiki Inamura, Josh Briggs, Obafemi. They fight for honor. Yeah. 7.5 for Raw. I appreciate that. Raw was kind of it had good matches, but a lot of the story elements seemed to fall a little flat this week. But it was an entertaining show. I did find myself not bored. I was able to stay with it, not being like, hey, let's watch the clock kind of thing. I apologize for not being able to go ahead and do the Raw review last night. Health issues kept me in the hospital and such, but doing better now, getting fluid, so at least things worked out. But NXT tonight was a really good show. I don't want to say the stench. That's a terrible way of putting it. The aura that TNA currently has is in the air of NXT, and they have managed so far to not only keep NXT as a hot promotion and topic, but also to elevate them as well. I mean, they're not just taking the talent and beating them. They're having record-breaking attendance records being broken. How many times I say record there? Jeez. They're just breaking records all over the place. Gates and sales and attendance, and they're the hottest they've been possibly ever. And I want to say a lot of that is thanks to WWE having that global audience and putting them on this huge scale. I know people will complain, oh, look, Joe Hendry lost in seconds at Mania. It was 3 minutes. He got RKO'd. He got to come out in front of 60,000+ people, do his whole entrance, do the key signature shtick that he does, and wrestle Randy Orton. He didn't mind. People are like, oh, what about when Obafemi beat Moose? Moose was still the X Division champion, like they still had Obafemi maybe he gets beat by Moose in the future. You never know what happens. But it wasn't always a put down of NXT. They've had a lot of wrestlers sent over there. They've had a lot of storylines work out. One of my favorites was there originally early on was Ethan Page. He returned home. So I'm glad to see that they're not forgetting about TNA and just taking, as some people try to paint and present that picture. I really feel like so far they've done well working as a team as needed. Excuse me. The meds only make you more thirsty. So, NXT, come on, baby. White hot opening here. They want to give us an 8 multi-person tag match. Sign me up. Sol Ruka, she's out there with her whole, all of it out. Her and Zarya come out together. I like their dual entrance. Hank and Tank come out, you know, looking honk, sexy as ever. Then we get the culling. So Izzy, Tatum, Shawn Spears, Nico Vance, they are all going to be the opponents they face in this opening 8-person mixed tag team match. A lot of fun here. Tatum worked really well. I enjoyed her early on. Her and Zarya, you know, had to go ahead and kind of face off briefly. And you saw Sol basically leapfrog over Zarya to go ahead and get to Tatum. That was funny. I like the back and forth, the hectic nature of it all. And then it really came down to kind of the clunky ending. We got a bit of a surprise. So at first, you know, you got Tatum. She hits Zarya with a big running knee. And then Zarya sees Spears in the top rope. So she goes and she hits him with an F5. And I was like, holy shit, this chick is insane. Way to go, girl. So now Zarya's there in the middle of the ring. She just F5 Spears out of his shorts. Tatum comes over, rolls her up, tries to get her, and that's when Zarya hits her with the spear. Sol Ruka comes in and she tosses Izzy to the steps, feeds her some, you know, solid steel, and that's when Spears grabs the doll that Tatum came out with and hands it to her. The lights go out, and Dark State appears. They're all in different spots in the Houston arena. They're all laid out. You know, like I said, they're at the famous 713 Music Hall in Houston, Texas. Dark State is everywhere. Lights are flickering and flashing. It's a hell of an entrance. I do like the music of these guys. So they managed to go ahead and make it interesting. We got the strobe effects. Dun 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 dun. The lights go back on, and what happens? Zarya's down in the middle of the ring. Tatum goes over and pins her. 1, 2, 3. Holy hell. Tatum Paxley just beat Zarya. And it looked to be clean at first, so we thought now she's kind of not responding at all. Sol Ruka, concerned, goes over, cradles her. Says, look at my... Nothing. No response. Puts her snatch in her nose. Can't bring her to life. Finally, a little bit of rousing gets Zarya going, and she says... My eye, as she holds her eye. My eye. So did she use the Barbie doll as a weapon to hit her in the eye with it, and that knocked her out? Moving on. No, I really have no idea what they were going for. I don't know if they just missed their cue. Did they go ahead and completely whiff that one? Did she act too soon? Was she supposed to hit her with the doll and now it's like an eye thing? I don't know. The crowd loved this match until the ending. Obviously, with the bad guys winning, it really kind of took the air out of the make it to Full Sail. But yeah, it was a fun opening. The crowd made it feel fun. Yeah, I don't know that I'm crazy about this story. I like all the people involved, so it's really mostly about Tatum Paxley. She lost her friends. Sol and Zarya tried to be real friends to her. She kind of messed things up. And instead of owning up to it, Tatum stepped in and said, no, I'll be your friend. And that's where we are. Now, Tatum is dealing with the culling and being brainwashed over there. C'est la vie, folks. Maybe she'll get brainwashed into Fatal Influence next. Jordynne Grace tries to enter the arena, but Ava has her damn security there tight. Should have just went ahead and said his name. I bet you he could have got her in. Not now. And we end up getting JC brought to the ring. JC 2 belts. You got JC sucks chants going on. And she says, you know, people called me the most beatable champion, the most vulnerable champion. But I'm the one that's the women's champion in both TNA and NXT. Not Grace, Monroe, or any of your indie darlings. It's Jane, and I'm your champion. I did it all by myself, she yells, because everyone wrote me off. I did it all with no support. She goes nuts to say this line. Why? Her ego's running wild. Now she's not one, but the double champ. And you see Fallon and Jasmine kind of look at her a little side-eyed. They're like, All right. So we know the breakup inevitably is coming. But when it does, JC will then truly be all alone, and it'll be time for her to lose that title. She can only stand behind them for so long. We then get interrupted by Lash Legend. She comes out, the crowd's excited for her, and she's like, you know, everybody wants to put their names in the history book, but that's cliche. She said, there's nothing cliche about me. I'm standing here in front of you. And, you know, she starts to give JC her flowers for a little bit. She's like, no one expected you to be the double champion. But she said, you know, I didn't decide to take the top spot to be the number one girl. You did, so congrats. But your delusional ass isn't going to be up there long because you're going to downward spiral real fast. And that's when Jada Parker comes out, and she basically is in the face of Lash Legend. And eventually, you know, Jada just says, you know, I'm the walking reality check, and I'm the face and future of the women's division. Jacy Jane said, well, I'll let Lash and Jada hash it out. And basically, she told the rest of Fatal Influence, get him. And the girls looked at her and did nothing. So finally, JC jumps into action, and she starts jumping Lash, and the rest join in. And that's when all of Fatal Influence gets dumped to ringside, and now they're all mad at each other. So cute, awesome, fun little attention to detail with her, you know, initially not giving anybody credit. And then at the end, when she says, go get them, no one helps her. So the sign of, you know, chink in the arm or a crack in the seal. It's all going down for Fatal Influence. Maybe I shouldn't have muted that one, huh? Granted, it was still an entertaining segment. Maybe not the best, but this definitely was more of an NXT segment. You know, the need to grow and learn. Nobody was bad here. JC shined. Jada was decent on the mic. Lash needs improvement, but she's still not bad. She just needs more mic time, which is a good thing that she was speaking here. I think JC is getting better each time she comes out and speaks. She's being more confident with her character, and we'll see what happens going forward. I wrote her off. I did not expect her to go ahead and have her, you know, be the double champ. Never mind be the NXT women's champ. I never saw Stephanie getting beat by anybody. I thought she might have to vacate the title like others have. So then we had a real get your ass kicked match between Ricky Saints and Jasper Troy. These two beat each other all over this famed arena here in Houston. Eventually, Ricky hits Troy with a big crossbody and a big DDT, a tornado DDT actually, and got a good 2 count. But then they end up fighting their way all the way up the top of the ramp to the entrance Titantron screen they have set up. And they're fighting with each other. And then all of a sudden, a piece of the ramp falls that Ricky's on. We don't see it, but next thing we know, we look over, there's a piece of the ramp grate on the ground, and Ricky's laid out. And Troy ends up kind of looking at Ricky, looks at the ref, and he does like a jumping senton onto the broken ramp piece and Ricky. And then he gets back in the ring, he gets the 10 count and wins. I think he was supposed to slam him through the stage and the piece broke early, or they stepped on it and it just collapsed. And this could have been a really cool moment, but it seems like it reminds me of WCW when David Arquette stepped on the the part of the stage that was hollowed out and just falls through. I'm pretty sure it was him. And there were so many blunders in WCW, but they had gimmicked the stage for somebody to fall through, so now they couldn't do the spot because he walked through the gimmicked part and just falls through, and it's like, oh god, that's what this felt like. I don't know if it was an intentional thing because it didn't come off that way. Commentary was weird and how they tried to address it. I was a bit like disheveled by it because there was no shot of him yet going through the grate or falling through. So I'm like, they couldn't have missed that if it was a pivotal moment. If that was part of the plan, the producer would have told him, like, hey, this is coming, capture this. He was just walking and the grate collapsed. And they were like, it collapsed under the weight of Ricky. How strange. So, I mean, this is one of HBK's signatures. He likes to do this type of thing where it's like, the broken ramp or something unique where it gives you an out and it's unorthodox. And I think that he was going to put him through the ramp and that probably would have looked and been a better image. But I am still... I still like Jasper Troy. I wonder where he's going to go from here. While Obafemi's already the champ, I'm not sure if we're gonna, see him go for the title at all again soon. So, who better for him to feud with than Dark State? I mean, you could have Jasper be a face pretty quick, and I don't know. There's ways to go for him, but I just don't see where he's going now. Especially being a heel, I don't see him going for the North American title anytime soon with Ethan Page holding it. You never know, but it just doesn't seem that way. We talked earlier about Trick Williams coming out, and he has his interaction with The Undertaker, but before he calls out the dead man, he's going to do some talking and walking. So Trick says that Slammiversary, he's the main event. It's Trick and A. That's the biggest TNA event ever to this day. He said he defeated Average Joe. He defeated Loud and Proud Mike Santana. And that makes him the greatest TNA champ of all time. He's like, I don't blame the roster for not liking me. I'm dropping records, diss tracks, and I'm dropping anyone in my way. Trick was on fire here. He sounded great. He looked great. Even Booker supporting him was great. The only flub I forgot to mention was Booker T when he opens the show. So we're going to rewind a little bit for a second here. I apologize. Booker T is going through tonight's matches and whatnot, and Ren Sinclair, representing No Quarter Crits crew, is supposed to be taking on Blake Monroe. And I believe he said, what, Booker? No, you said, was it Marilyn Monroe? Or yeah, you messed it up pretty bad in the beginning there. So I know you had the complete wrong name. It was funny. I know it wasn't intentional, and I know that Vic Joseph and Corey Graves brought it up afterwards, and they're like, she is never going to let you live that down. That's for damn sure. So I enjoyed recovering from that flub early on, but Booker T here supporting his man Trick cutting a hell of a promo. He's like, I spit facts, and like I said, I'm the best of all time. And he said those kids had to snitch to their coach, Undertaker. And he's like, I take down anyone that's in my way. And those LFG rookies, they were in my way. Undertaker's a Hall of Famer, but that, he's never held down two brands at the same time. He said LFG got Taker tweeting, but ultimately soft, SAW. Feels very recycled. Hey, muted, look at all that time. All we heard were the bells. Well, I don't know why Discord mutes me. Yep. Let's go back. Undertaker, he's in there. Paul called me now, just a second too late, but that's all right. Discord, you son of a bitch. I don't have Cody here to tell me I can't hear you. That's why I'm set up for 2. Motherfucker. How far back did I go? A good 4 minutes? All right. Yep. Well, for those of you that hung out, we can edit that tomorrow. Love this thing sometimes. Well, regardless, thank you for letting me know. God damn it, that's why I'm gonna have to fire Cody. At least you can hear the bells. At least it's funny, right? Ding, ding. Undertaker goes ahead and he gets approached by Trick, and he's not a happy camper here. He goes ahead and he makes it known. God damn it. It's still his yard. He choke slams Trick out of his fucking boots. It's a beautiful thing. And I like I said, I enjoyed it, but it was very generic. It was very just straightforward. I'm the good guy. You're not a good guy anymore. You need to be the face. You need to be you again. We need the old Stone Cold. You know, everything that Trick said here, it rings true. It just felt hollow going up against The Undertaker. Like, why? Because the LFG guys got in your way? The Undertaker's, okay, but what are you getting out of this? What are you... So there really wasn't, like, anything to progress forward here, and I don't see what we're headed into. There is no next feud. There is no... next anything. It was what it was. At least when Braun Breaker and Undertaker, Breaker was heading into transition of going to the main roster, and they were trying to put him over that way. Taker felt really pointless and like he was defending the stars from themselves. And you got an old man doing your fighting because he's not lean and spry like he used to be. He doesn't walk like an able-bodied man. He walks like he hurts, and I hurt, so I get it. Trick made a bunch of, good call-out points. He matched his gear being in Texas. He's like, I'm carrying 2 brands. The Undertaker's never done that. This is the biggest show TNA has ever had to this day. And you know what? I'm the face of 2 of the best divisions. And he says, I defeated Average Joe. I defeated Loud and Proud Mike Santana. And that makes me the greatest of all time. I don't blame the TNA roster for not liking me. I said, I'm dropping records, diss tracks, and I'm dropping anyone in the way. Yeah, if it's not for the LG rookies that stood in my way last week for some reason, then guess what? Anybody in my way, I'm going to push them out. And it's like, I get it, but you're saying the kids went and snitched to the Undertaker. They snitched to their coach. I heard what you said. Yeah. So Trick's like, oh, you're a Hall of Famer, but you've never held down 2 brands. So him cutting into the Undertaker when really his issue is with the LFG guys. Like the LFG guys should have came out with the Undertaker, like after something. It's just you're getting choke slammed by 60-year-old Taker. The old man came out of his senior housing and said, where's my applesauce? Even with Cody's theme there. So the best thing out of it was hearing the old Kid Rock theme, and seeing Taker come out is still cool, but I missed the bike. I wish they just had the bike to the ramp. And it didn't take away anything from TNA. It adds to it, honestly. You have The Undertaker interacting, The Undertaker, who never left the company, never got fired, never changed brands, the WWE ride or die himself, interacting in a ring, cutting a promo with the TNA world champion. They can show that forever because that's part of their TNA history. Like, That's massive for TNA. All the exposure is never bad. And I want more from this. I want to see them with a program here. Like I could see if Undertaker was taking his top guy, and that's going to face Trick for the TNA title, and maybe they get there eventually with it. But you know, like, whoever won this competition this week, guess what? You're going to have a match, and you could be the TNA champ. You know, it's unrealistic, but give us something. There's no payoff here. What does Trick do? He got chokeslammed, and now he carries that with him all pissed off. Like, I don't know. It just, again, the heel gets beat down, and most good heels do, but nothing really to write your neighbors about. You've got mail. Getting that old school down. Then we get Blake Monroe, Ren Sinclair. Ren gets her entrance during the commercial break, and we go ahead and Blake's. I love how NXT touches things up at times. You can see them. I mean, WWE does it in real time anyways, and we've seen them kind of utilize the changes week to week. So they'll go ahead, and they did it with Penta. They fine-tuned his entrance. First, there wasn't the kind of pyro. Then it was the spinning pyro. Then they added the other stuff. And, you can see the laser lights each week. Now you have Blake's initial entrance. Then it got a few more lights and like the kind of bubble effect. Now she's got this mirror vanity that's lit up, and they do the reverse shot with her looking into the vanity. So you don't see the cameraman. It's a really cool shot. I love the entrance. She's great. People don't want to boo her yet, but we'll get there. It was a short match. You knew it would be. Ren Sinclair deserves a bit better. I love her Ren's Day every Wednesday that she puts out. Those are funny. It's that little bit extra bit of character that she adds. Usually that's the bathroom break moment, but they were building towards what everybody wants to see. Jordynne Grace attacking Blake Monroe. So Jordynne Grace jumps the guardrail. Security can't hold her back, and they get into a nasty ground and pound. Grace is flipping security guards, ass over tea kettle, head over heels. They're going everywhere. Finally, Monroe comes over and hits Jordynne with a big headbutt, and then Grace gets laid out with the big Future Shock DDT on a chair, a solid steel chair. Blake stands tall. You already sold me before. I want to see the match. That's great. It was a good singles debut for Blake, a solid squash. Very quick, what they needed to do. It progressed the story as I was asking for before. Then we had one of my probably favorite segments of the night, All Ego. Ethan Page, he's got his podium set up, and it's his 56th day as the greatest North American in North America to hold the North American championship. So he said 17 Americans held that title before him, but he's going to hold the belt with more honor, dignity, and pride. Oh, he has honor and class than all 17 of those Americans combined. He'll do that because of where he came from. He said his family came to North America as immigrants from Yugoslavia. They led him to traveling bingo halls and companies coast to coast. And he said, if my family didn't make these difficult decisions, I might have ended up like all of you, but I didn't, because I grew up not here, but Canada. And you see the Canadian flag come down, and he pulls the cover off, and you see the new North American Championship. And he said this championship would represent Canada's dominance of Canada, Mexico, and every company in it. And he said, I was born in Canada, made in America, which makes me the best American alive. And he said that this gives him the privilege to do this. Like I said, we saw the title. I really like how it looks. It's a very cool red and white design. The crowd chanted asshole at him endlessly. From Texas proud Americans are ripping pissed. You even got a shut the fuck up chant going on. They tried to censor it. They still can't get their censoring down. So it was shut the fuck up. Like way delayed. Then the director of authority, and he has an honor. He went ahead, and we got Santino Marella, but he came out to his Santino theme, not his Director of Authority theme. And I wonder if that's because it's WWE, because he's come out in NXT before to his Santino theme, but is it because he's wrestling, or is it because he's not representing TNA? I don't know. It's still, I got a kick out of hearing his old, Santino theme with the, the opera intro. And Santino basically said that I am a real Canadian and no one likes Ethan. And the people in Mexico and the U.S. are hardworking people too. And you are a bumhole boy. So he said, go back to TNA. And, he said, I'm friends with Ava and she let me come out and, basically said that next week we'll have a match for that title. So Ethan's like, forget that. Let's do it right now. And he goes to go ahead and take off his jacket, get ready to fight Santino. And he sees the Cobra and he ducks out of the ropes and gets out of there and leaves the ring. This is your, again, stereotypical, prototypical, Vince McMahon certified, 100% grade A beef, non-American heel. The anti-USA promo strikes again and reigns supreme. It works. Why? Because it goes against everything that we're indoctrinated to stand for. We stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. We bleed red, white, and blue. And they're saying our country sucks, even though we're part of North America. Fuck it. You're saying Canada's better than us? Them's fighting words. And then we're going to basically head into the main event. Obafemi, Josh Briggs, Yoshiki Inamura for the NXT title. I didn't like Inamura getting the match in the first place. He pinned Trick, not Femi, not anybody else that was number one contender. He should have had his match. Briggs already got his match because Inamura gave it to him to face Trick. Briggs lost. Then Inamura gets a singles title match because reasons. Josh Briggs interferes, ruins it for Inamura. Obafemi says, I'll give you another shot. Briggs turns it into a triple threat. Here we are, convoluted as it may be. It's a triple threat. You knew Obafemi was going to win. I mean, they could have shocked us here, but really, Briggs or Inamura, neither of these two feel like a caliber star comparable to what is the amazing Obafemi. Maybe they get over bigger later. Maybe they need to work on these guys a bit more. Maybe Briggs has more to offer as a heel. I can see that being the case. So I'm curious with the way this was handled. I don't know if we'll have a permanent split because basically you had Briggs and Inamura, they're trading strikes with each other. And then Briggs hits Inamura with a clothesline from hell. And you look like he's about to win, but then Oba out of nowhere hits Briggs with a big pop-up powerbomb, pins him, gets the victory. Cut to the end, we see Javon Evans, and he's like, I don't know what to do next. And Taker says, go after the biggest dog in the yard. So maybe he's going after Obafemi? Not sure. Interesting ending, though. The new belt is ugly as hell. I loved it. Honor! You got to fight for honor with that belt. Oh, he fights it for honor. Like he said, that belt should be defended as it should only be fought for honor and sanctity. I like the way they presented this. It is ugly, it is gaudy, but it's supposed to be. You fight with dignity and pride and honor. All in all, NXT was fun. It's great to see Undertaker in the yard. It looks like we're going to have Obafemi and Javon Evans run that back. No problem with the Youngblood going after him. Those matches were excellent. Again, a straightforward, typical David versus Goliath type thing, but I'm happy to see it. All in all, I'd give this night about a 7. So Raw gets anywhere from a 6 to a 6.5, and I would give this a 7. Both shows had some really good matches. I think Raw obviously gets the better of the two. I mean, Sheamus alone, his match with Rusev was great. But the women's tag was much better than most of what we got here. Saints and Troy was decent, but people in the chat have said it. I've said it. I'm tired of seeing Saints lose. I mean, we'll see what they tell going forward with Jasper Troy, but where does he go from here? You know, against Obafemi again? I don't know if we're ready to buy that yet. So Ethan Page is not exactly not busy. So we'll see what happens with his title going forward. Granted, you know, we got a little bit of time in NXT to build before we get to the next show for SummerSlam weekend. So we'll see what happens then. But you know, the card right now for SummerSlam itself, it's looking stacked indeed. We got Dominic Mysterio, AJ Styles, as we said, announced on Raw last night. AJ blindsides, or excuse me, Dominic blindsides AJ after AJ messed with him all night and signs the contract, so it's official. We got United States Champion Solo Sikoa against Jacob Fatu in a steel cage. So after they're running with the law, you know, and then false arrest of Jacob. Now we know these two are going to be locked up. Then we got the women's tag team titles being defended. Roxanne and Raquel from the Judgment Day taking on Charlotte Flair and Alexa. That's going to be interesting. Charlotte was blown away and almost couldn't wrestle the other day because she couldn't believe the "We Want Charlotte" chants. Her being teamed with Alexa Bliss is probably one of the best career rehabs WWE has pulled. Not just recently, but possibly ever. Got to give credit to Alexa Bliss and how over she is with little girls. I mean, people still love that stupid doll. What are you going to do? And then we have the Women's IC Championship. No disqualification, no count out. Last woman standing. So we have Becky Lynch against Lyra. Women's World Champion triple threat. Naomi versus Rhea versus Io. So instead of Bianca, we got the other non-white meat, Naomi. All right, they're just swapping them out, but no race swap, just character swap. We had an amazing triple threat from 2/3 of these women at WrestleMania. Can they do it again at SummerSlam with Naomi? Only time will tell, but my guess is yes. Gunther, the champion, the world heavyweight champion, defending against CM Punk. My CM Punk guy. I am going banana for this one.
Everybody go absolutely banana.
That's right. At least Punk didn't mute himself. Idiot. God. I'm going to shit the bed. Discord. Then Randy Orton, Jelly Roll, tag teaming it up. Jelly Roll is a hell of a lot better than Travis Scott. Taking on Drew McIntyre and Logan Paul. So Drew was on Logan Paul's podcast. I watched almost the entire thing. I think I've got about 10 minutes left of it. Great listen. As much as I'm not a fan of Logan outside of the ring, I did like hearing what Drew had to say. And Logan does have a good way of getting people just to feel comfortable and talk. So the interviewing style is, you know, more of a podcast, less of the straight up question and answer segment. And Drew did not disappoint. Said he hated Travis Scott's 6-minute walkout and ruining the main event of WrestleMania. He's not a fan of him. He cut a lot of great clips there. So we'll discuss that and much more of all the news stories into Somewhere Weekly tomorrow night. We'll be live 10 p.m. Eastern. Myself and Cody giving you just the latest updates on SummerSlam, all the other matches that are possibly coming our way. We'll talk about Clash in Paris. We'll talk about AEW and their follow-up to All in Texas and what their plan for the future are themselves. It's going to be a hell of a night tomorrow. Make sure you're hitting the subscribe button and turn on notifications so that you're here when we go live. Then we have the women's match, night 2. It looks like Tiffany Stratton, the champion, defending against Queen of the Ring, Jade Cargill. And the night 2 main event, the undisputed WWE Championship, defended in a street fight. John Cena, Cody Rhodes. Twice for the ages. It's not once in a lifetime, twice for the ages. This match, a million ways it can go. And I forgot to add that if Lyra loses, she can no longer challenge for the women's IC title so long as Becky holds it. I might have mentioned that, but oof. Yeah, definitely a great card. I'm, excited to see how this all turns out. I think we're going to have a really good SummerSlam. The build may not be great, but the show itself is going to be fantastic. Yeah, Travis Scott was supposed to wrestle at SummerSlam, and Jelly Roll is the replacement. Jelly Roll has been training for a while. So we're also going to be talking about WWE influencing AJ not to wrestle at the TNA Slammiversary show. So it says WWE influenced major change to Styles Slammiversary segment. And TNA President Carlos Silva acknowledged to Sports Illustrated that they went through a few changes, and some plans were scrapped, unfortunately. So we'll delve into that tomorrow as well, give you updates for the SummerSlam card. Raw, definitely giving it, like I said, 6.5. I feel comfortable staying in that range. NXT, I think 7's a fair point. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us tonight. Thank you for letting me know I was muted. Got in Discord. Thank you for subscribing as well. You can go ahead and find me guest featuring on the state of wrestling every week. We'll be having a new episode of the podcast this week recorded, so you want to check out the Spaz Phoenix YouTube channel. And you can also check out Liz on Twitch, and all of Cody's information in the description box down below. Go ahead and give everybody a follow down there. It helps the network out greatly. Make sure you reach out to me on Twitter/X at Countdown Ended, as well as on Instagram, and now on Spotify. You can search hashtag into somewhere on there to listen to us on Spotify. So that's another option for you that want to go ahead and just maybe do it audio only on the road, but video available there too. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. I hope you all have a great night. We'll see you tomorrow for Into Somewhere Weekly. Have a great Wednesday. Until then, stay sexy.